Hi guys, welcome to this week's training video. This week I've had a question on my YouTube channel and I really wanted to touch on this subject rather than the session that I had planned, because I think it's really important when someone reaches out to you through your social media and it's a situation when it is like this one is to kind of offer help to them. So the article and knowledge that I wanted to share with you next week is going to have to wait until then. So basically this person has sent me a question and she said, "Hi Debbie, can I ask you a question? What do you say to a transgender woman that feels they're never really ever truly going to be happy with life and of which they intend to end in the near future?" So I'm going to put my phone and my glasses away now. So one, you can see my eyes, and two, so you know that I do speak extemporaneously on these videos. I do tell everyone that I do that, but this is the proof that I do that. It's a really difficult one, and thank you for reaching out to me. I hope that that from what I'm about to say to you is going to help you get a bit of light in the situation that you're going through, but also give you hope. If you are still out there, the person who sent me this message, and you're struggling after you've watched this video, contact me through the website transcendingwithdlc.com. Please do so. There is a email me. I'll give you a free coaching session and we'll try and put strategies in place to help you get through the struggles that you're going through. I would say the first thing to remember when you're struggling with any transition, whether it's gendered identity as yours is, or whether it's coming to terms with a new, with the loss of love or loss of a parent, of, someone that you care about, or whatever it is, any period of change that you're going through, first understand that it's okay to feel pain. Pain is part of life. Without pain, we're going to realise what times of love and joy can be. I know that really sucks. You're like, thanks Debbie, I know that anyway. I'm in pain and that's why I'm struggling. But understand that pain is part of life. If you want to have a safe life, you can live in a corner. I can bring you 3 meals a day. You might live to the age of 99, 100, but what a life, And it's the same with pain. You have to go through pain in order to understand what love and what good times are. But anyway, the first thing I would advise you to do, the person who sent me this message, is to try and set goals for each day. Now, when you're struggling, it's really difficult to kind of motivate yourself to do something. So, you might, one day, you might set yourself 3 goals, and they could be, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get showered, and I'm going to go for a walk in the park for 10 minutes. Just getting outside, trying to get into a routine of doing things when you're struggling and you can't focus can be a really powerful thing. The more that we focus on the things that we're going through, the more that they become so all-encompassing, and the more that we struggle with them. So please do try and do a few things each day. The more that you start doing things that you have to do to survive, I think that the more you gain momentum, and therefore you start coming out of the side of that. So definitely do that. Another thing I want to say to you is just keep perspective. I know it's really difficult when you're struggling with a hardship, and I'm going to take you back to the first 6 weeks of my transition. So I transitioned in July 2012. Middle of August 2012, I was bulimic, I had depression, and I was really struggling because I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any one who I could really talk to about the stuff that I was going through. And it was only then at that period that I said, right, I had to take control, otherwise this thing was going to consume me and I was going to try committing suicide again, like I had done in 2003. But I sought out the support of my peers. I can't emphasize that enough. Quite often when you're struggling with something and you can't get focus, a lot of it is to do with the fact that because you're so consumed by the struggle that you're going through, because that's where you were at in your life, you can't see outside of that situation. So I urge you, with me, I went out and sought support from a group of transgender people. Being in a social support environment with another group of trans people made me realise that, I wasn't the only one that was going through the struggles that I was. I met people who were considering transition as well as had gone through their transition and gone through surgery, and the lessons and the takeaways I got from them, sharing, their knowledge of how they overcame the things that I was going through, was massively, massively invaluable. So I would say get perspective of others as well as look at yourself and actually, if you're struggling with your transition, this person that I'm reaching out to now, understand that you've made the decision. One of the hardest decisions you'll ever make is to be a transgender person, if that's what your journey is, because ultimately you're saying to society, no, I'm not going to have the role that you've given me at birth. I'm actually going to live my truth. It's very, very difficult. And once you get over the initial euphoria of making the decision, and if you live in it socially, then, you know, the struggles set in, they're not fitting in, friends leaving you if that's happened, family leaving you if that's happened. I know some people who don't have that, so there is the flip side. But, you know, if you're someone like me who lost friends and family years of it, as a result of it, I really struggled. And in reaching out to my peers, it really helped me, because it made me understand that, yeah, I am struggling and it is tough, but I'm going to get through it. They gave me things that I could learn and then apply to my own life, and as a result of that I was in a far better, happier place. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and the first time you go to a group you might fucking hate it, I don't know, but understand, if you keep going to these things and talking to people as well, it can just, you know, give you clarity where perhaps you haven't had any before. So please keep perspective and understand the situation that you're in now isn't a situation that you're in forever. I'm sure anyone out there who is struggling understands that you've struggled in the past, and each period of struggle, while it seems like forever when you're in that situation, it is only a short period. You know, understand that my whole physical transition from making the decision to having a surgery took 4 years. While I was doing that and waiting for appointments and waiting for surgeries and not hearing from the gender clinic and everything like that, it felt like my whole universe and the journey was against me. But once I actually let go, and you know what, I just said, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. I need to concentrate on being a happy person in the moment that I'm in, and enjoying the person that I'm becoming. If you can focus on that rather than the lack of progress or the difficulties that you're having, it'll give you a bit of perspective. But like I said, if you can't get self-perspective, go and seek out the support of your peers, or talk to a friend. If you've got someone who may not necessarily be transgender, but someone who understands you and who knows you better than I do, perhaps they can give you perspective. You know, often if we say to someone, you know, I'm really struggling at work and don't feel I'm doing this, that and the other, they'll go, are you serious? Come on, you've done this, this and this. So please seek out the perspective of others. The other thing I'm going to say is step number 3, or, you know, point number 3, is ask yourself, what can I learn in this difficult period? And I'm not saying that you have to go and learn how to speak another language or whatever, because that would be stupid, right? But maybe you do, I don't know. Quite often when you're in a period of struggle and you can't focus and you can't see anything that's ever going to change, if you try and do something else that you love, or that you have a passion for, it can help. Because, you know, once you start doing that, your brain starts making different connections, and then you start feeling positive, and then, you know, it helps you to grow. One of the things that I've wanted to do forever, you know, since I was a kid, my sister took dancing lessons and stuff. And I remember, you know, I was a little bit older than her, and I was so jealous of the fact that she was able to go to dancing and do that thing, which I saw to be a very feminine way of expressing yourself and your body and everything else. When I started doing ballet, I was shitting myself. I got all the gear and stuff, but I was like, well, I don't know if the girls in the class are going to accept me. I don't know what the teacher's going to be like. Everyone was really supportive. I even, you know, contacted the ballet school I was going to go to, and I was like, you know, I really always wanted to do ballet, just explaining the situation, but said, you know, I'm a transgender woman, I'm currently, you know, pre-surgery, but, you know, I've always wanted to do ballet, I really love to do ballet. And they spoke to the teacher, and she was like, well, yeah, if anyone in my class has got a problem, they're out of the class, it's that simple. And once I started doing ballet, it did lift me, because it made me realise, you know, quite often the fears that we have about how people are going to react towards us and stuff, they're exactly that. They're just fears. They don't actually come to fruition. You have to understand, yes, there are going to be some people who don't accept you, but there are also going to be people that accept you. It's part of life. And, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're cisgender, whether you're transgender, whatever you are, there is going to be someone in life who doesn't like you. So rather than focus on the things that you think people won't like you for, focus on the things that you want to do, and focus on doing something new that perhaps you've always wanted to do, but you've never had the courage to do it. I mean, for God's sake, you've made the toughest decision you're ever going to make because you're transitioning, right? So anything else that you want to do should be, you know, a walk in the park compared to what you're going through. So please, you know, try doing something new, and then that will give you momentum, and it will make you feel happier and stuff, and you'll feel better about yourself. I promise you that will actually help. I think the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about was, let me have a think. Understand that when you are going through a struggle and you're looking back at the times that you've gone through a struggle as a way to kind of give you perspective about what you're going through, look at how you reacted when you got the best out of those situations and think, okay, this is what I'm going through. And I had exactly the same thing when I was, struggling in my 6 weeks into my transition, and when I was depressed and I had bulimia and I hated life, and I was just like thinking, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. I just thought I might as well just stop transitioning, because at least then, people will accept me and I'll be happy. But, I took a hold of myself and I go, no, I can't do that because I've sacrificed so much already. And so, I sought out the support of my peers, as I said, and then, there was a local cafe in Bournemouth called Flirt Cafe Bar. Anyone in Bournemouth knows, who's in the LGBT community, has heard of Flirt. But I contacted them and I said, look, I'm new to the area. I'm really struggling to make friendships and connections. I want to come to your quiz night. Is there any chance you can stick me on a team? And they replied, and they were amazing. And I went to a team, and actually my team won. Yay, go us. But, it got me out of that, destructive cycle of being depressed and then being angry and then getting angry at myself and having motivation. And psychology, they call it a crazy eight. You kind of you have two emotions towards a subject, and it's generally whatever they are. It doesn't. Mine were anger and depression, and I would just go around. I would be depressed about not fitting in and stuff, and people being kind of dismissive towards my advances on friendship and stuff, and then I'd be angry at that, and then I'd want to do something about it, and then I would go back down to depression. It's called a crazy eight. Look it up on Google if you've never heard of it before. But that was the cycle I was in, and I had to break that. I had to take away those two eights and separate them, and rather than to a degree, I guess I used my anger and I thought, no, fuck you, you're not going to beat me, I'm going to beat this myself. And so I sought out, social situations that I hadn't perhaps been in before, but, I was in a community where I knew I would be accepted, and that really, really helped me. So ask yourself, how would my best self cope with this? How would I react in this in the best way that I can? I'm sure that you've got through tough times in the past, and you're going to get through this as well. I promise you that you will. Making the decision to transition for a lot of people, especially people who have lived part of their life as an adult in the wrong gender, it's tough. I know, I've been there, I've done that. And I want to say well done for making the decision to transition. I look out to you with love and compassion, because I've been there. I tried it until the age of 39. I did everything I could to be a male. I joined the army, I got married, I had a baby. In that order as well. I left the army before I got married though, but I did everything I could to be male, to fit in, and none of it worked. So if you've done that, then kudos to you, because you've tried to fit into a role the society has given you, and you can't fit in, so you're standing up for your best self and your true self. So understand you've got through these difficult things in the past, and you will do again. I promise you, your current situation is not your final destination. Understand the person standing in front of the camera now isn't the person who started this transition, and it's the same with any transition or any massive period of change. You're going to get there, you just have to keep going. And finally, I'm hoping that this will help you as well. What a lot of people say is, like, when you're struggling, is try and look at the things that you can be grateful for in your life. What I am grateful for in my life is the fact that I have a big heart, that I'm quite a good communicator, that I can actually make friends quite easily because of the outgoing personality that I have. I'm grateful for my daughter, but also more than anything, I'm grateful to be given this opportunity. I have been given a human life. I think it's the one in one. The odds of you being born, if your grandparents meeting, of their parents being meeting, and everything else, are like 1 in 400 trillion, I think it is. So the fact that you're here is a miracle in itself. But also, you have the ability to make a choice. So, be grateful in the fact that you've started this journey. Be grateful in the fact that, you're making progress towards the person that you want to be. And understand that this person here isn't the person over there, but also this person here isn't the person over there. So the person that you are now, this is your past. Yes, you've gone through a lot of pain and hardship, and possibly, I would think, good times as well. Focus on the good times that you've had. Remember how you felt in those good times, and I understand what it's like when you're struggling with depression and bulimia and things like that, like I did. To kind of get myself through them, I had to remember that, I'm a good person. I am a person who is full of love and who is capable of being loved and, giving love. And I had to remember that, how, when you talk to someone, ask them how they are when they feel depressed, sometimes you can't change your emotion, but one thing you can do is change your physical physicality. You know, Tony Robbins, go and look at Tony Robbins suicide on YouTube and you'll watch a few of these videos and you'll see it. You know, he speaks to people when they're feeling depressed and their head's down and their shoulders are hunched, and you know, they're focusing on the negative moment in their life. Try and think of a moment when you were ultimately happy, you know, when you were in ecstasy, whether it's, you know, having sex or, you know, surfing or the first time you rode a bike, whatever it is. Just remember how you felt in that moment and then try and, you know, put that memory in your current state and focus on that and like lift your shoulders up and look in the mirror. I say this to myself in the mirror quite regularly. I look in the mirror and I say, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're on your journey, you're sharing your journey with others to help others and to inspire them, you know, to be themselves and live their truth. And there is an absolute magic in that. I promise you, your current position is not your final destination. So please, please, please take heart in the fact that while you've come from there to there, you're going there as well. I promise you, if you keep going through the hard time, if you just try and focus on those few wins every day, whether it's, you know, if you want to have a day where you just watch a whole season of Netflix and, you know, have a few drinks and eat a few bags of donuts or whatever it is, and that's fine, but you know, don't do that every day. You know, if you keep focus on your goal and just keep going and following your process, if you get perspective from others and, you know, from your past, but also from your peers, people that you trust and people who are in your community who understand what you're going through, if you have a, you know, if you take a learning from the period that you're in and understand that the struggle you're going through now is there to teach you something, if you come to your best self in this situation, and then finally if you have gratitude for the choices that you've made and then the journey on you're on and the person that you're going to become, I promise you, you'll be far happier. So I hope the person that's reached out to me, I hope that this helps you. As I said, transcendingwithdlc.com, there's a contact page on there, on an email address. Email me. That's what I'm here for. I want to help as many people as I can through periods of struggle. Hopefully after the first session we'll be able to coach, I'll be able to coach you and through this difficult time. But even if you know, we don't do that and you just watch this video and it helps, I hope it has helped. So please, if you think that anyone in your life has gone through struggle, any period of change or their transition or whatever it is, and you think that was help them, please share this video, because the reason I share this is to help inspire others. And you know, had I not shared these videos, then perhaps this person wouldn't have reached out to me and they would have taken their own life. I don't know. So, you know, thanks to everyone for watching. As they always say, be yourself, no one else. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Until then, bye.